Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 389th Knowledge Seekers Workshop for Thursday, July 15th, 2021. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the Public Teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond, and I'll be a host today, along with Mr. Keshe, who is a host and a provider of the workshop, as well as our main guest, of course. So welcome, Mr. Keshe, to another Knowledge Seekers workshop. And I think you are ready to begin. Perhaps we should tell people, about the KFT TV won't be broadcasting today, but likely for next week's. Maybe you can explain that.
Good morning, good day to you, as usual, wherever and whenever you listen to this series of Knowledge Seekers of the Keshe Foundation, the Spaceship Institute around the world. We hope it'll be a beautiful summer day in the northern hemisphere. It'll be a nice winter day in the southern hemisphere. But either way, we receive the same energies of the universe and we enjoy life in this, what I call dynamic UFO, we call it planet Earth, that we are traveling around the universe within our own solar system, and we are totally ignorant to it because we are born in it. We never take notice of it. How it takes us around, we see the whole universe freely. We don't pay for it. We consume its energy to get from one point to another in the universe. We don't pay for it. And has become for us, we take it as granted. We cannot live without it. And in a way, is part of us in the structure of the life of the universe. In the past week, in a couple of teachings, we have referred to something especially for it to be more expanded on in the teaching of today. We have a reason for it. This is part of our set out with what is to come up with the peace plan, expansion of peace process, and negotiations with what we call the rights of every man to have access to all the knowledge of the creation, as we've done in Keshe Foundation. In the teaching in past week, it has been important for us to open the chapter, what is important to us, and it has been ignored. It has been kept in the backfire deliberately that we do not get what we used to have. If you were a student like me in 1970s and 80s, we had a Greenpeace movement, which every time somebody said something about nuclear, they were on the streets and banners, ban the nuclear and the rest of it. Because at that time, it was good for Russia to push the, what we call Western nation to work against nuclear. And it was financed heavily through the different channels to stop the nuclear, what we call development in the West, financed by the East. And then we saw Chernobyl, and then we saw what we call Fukushima. And we came to a point that suddenly we don't want to know anymore. And every one of us thinks that the nuclear industry has come to an end. Nobody's doing anything about it. In fact, what is important is that nuclear industry has never expanded so rapidly in one point, one place, and in different places at the same time. This is a misconception by many knowledge seekers and people who are just thinking about our work, that why over past years I keep on talking about nuclear plasma technology, not nuclear technology. But nuclear technology has never been so live. Today, as we speak, as I explained in other teachings, is that there are 15 nuclear power stations under construction around the world. We never had this. The maximum we can recall back was 2025 and 30 in plan and progress. We have 420 operating, semi-operating nuclear reactors today, but 50 are getting added today, are getting built around the world. We expect another 50 by 2030, 2040 to be start and going. By mid-century, we are expecting 300 more nuclear reactors, higher order, higher power, to come into operation. The world economists and the governments are turning their back on the coal and oil and investing heavily in nuclear industry, but this time silently, very silently. It's extremely profitable. It's one of the most profitable businesses governments have ever got into. One power station costs around about $30 billion. And when you put 50 of them together at it now and 50 in plan, you understand it's become one of the big gamers. With 30 billion, you can make many, many gas-fired, what we call power stations and oil and the rest of it. But governments are going for nuclear. At the moment, there are 50 sites under construction in 19 nations. It's not anymore China or Russia or United States or England. 19 nations are building heavily. They're supporting themselves for the eventuality when the oil runs out, but at the same time to be independent to support. From Dubai to Saudi Arabia to Singapore to China and everywhere else, they are heavily involved. We are building in UK, we are building in US. And their list is released by IAEA, what we call the monitoring system for nuclear industry. The whole structure of a nuclear has never been so vibrant. We see two heavily advanced systems being built by the Chinese in trying to process what we call high efficient nuclear materials for whatever purposes they do. We cannot accuse, but the places and the way these two systems are built are heading towards production of the what I call highly efficient pure materials. And so we see that nuclear industry is very vibrant, but you don't hear anything on the news. They don't let you. Just tap it in on Google it, and you will see. You get the list of the countries which are building, have built. There are a few will coming operational in the next 12 months and 24 months and 3 years. In so many ways, nuclear industry is alive, is kicking, but silently. But there is a big problem. What is going to happen? With 420 we have now, another 50 added, another 50 coming on, and then by mid-century, we have 700 nuclear reactors. Some stations of the past are getting repaired. Some are getting touched up. Some are getting revamped. But in any case, $30 billion now costs to put one station up. It was a fraction of this in 1970s when I was a student and we contemplating to build. But the thing is that this technology has become a cartel. 3 or 4 nations can only produce nuclear materials and then sell it, operate it, control the others. Nobody else can what I call do preparation. Nobody can clean the fuel rods. Nobody can do anything unless they do. Germany, United States, England to a part has tried, diverted from it. Russia and China. And Japan is not allowed to do much, but they're still building new nuclear reactors in a different way without many people know. In so many ways, a cartel has been established, and this cartel is trying to run profitably, each one taking its cut. And why I brought this subject up is because as we start negotiating for peace, not only between Iran +5+1, but for all the nations who are involved in it. Nuclear plasma technology is part of the technology of the space technology. Without it, we cannot travel. Without it, we cannot reach to the depth of what we call universe. As we said, our plan is 6th of June, 2022, attempting to fly from Earth to Moon in less than 1 hour. This is what we plan to do as part of the Iranian program, Keshe Foundation program, and in bringing other nations to be. One of the reasons you see 5+1 so heavily on Iran is because Iran is cutting into the piece of cake. Iran can produce and prepare and clean up much faster, much cheaper, which then it pushes nations to look outside. Iran has the technology to develop build nuclear power stations, and Qatar doesn't like it. The sanctions on Iran is 90% built for this to be stopped, that they can keep what they call the Qatar. And this is part of what we need to understand. What are we going to do, even with the Iran nuclear material which is in hand? The weapon technology with the new technology of Keshe Foundation is obsolete. Producing nuclear plasma for deep space travel brings a new dimension, new science, new way of living and traveling for all of us. This is what is important to all of us to know. We are putting one more step towards another accident. We are putting one more step towards possible damages by nuclear reactors which are out of control. It has happened to us many times. We've seen it with Fukushima. We've seen it with Chernobyl. We've seen it in occasions in different countries. We have a 3 Mile Island situation, even though very small. And then what's going to happen? What is our children going to do? What is the future of nuclear industry in these countries? There are two solutions: containment, finding somewhere today, or using a new plasma technology to contain with a gravitational system all the fields within the building. We are not offering a system to bury nuclear power stations material, a new knowledge, a new technology. In a way, gravitational field system to be built below the nuclear reactors of today by Iranian nuclear physicists, that on the time when we want to shut down, we switch these reactors off. Understanding the knowledge of nuclear, understanding the gravitational magnetic field of the creation of systems, we keep these reactors running, but we absorb the fields and everything else into the ground. This is unknown knowledge to the present nuclear industry. We don't need to find another hole to bury our own mistakes. And even if a system runs out, you won't see the system we saw with Fukushima, where the explosion will release everything out. We can develop, and in a way, we have developed a system which is already operational in one of Keshe Foundation sites, where we absorb, create a local gravity, and we absorb the fields inside. What this means, it means no nuclear reactor using our technology will ever run into possibilities of Fukushima or Chernobyl. This is unknown, and this is a part of the technology which we offer in exchange for peace from the Iranian scientists. We understand the process, and part of nuclear proliferation is this. Let us use nuclear, but we build a safety factor, which has not been available. This is part of our work in the coming time. This is what we offer, and this is what is on the table of negotiation. Iran advanced nuclear technology in exchange for world peace. In a way, we create a condition that no nation can create nuclear materials. With it, we allow nuclear plasma technology to be developed, but we don't allow nuclear weapon technology to take hold. In so many ways, what's the guarantee that all these 50 nuclear reactors built today will not go up the blue the first week, the first year, or somewhere during the operation? There has to be an alternative, and this alternative is on the table with the knowledge we have in the plasma technology. In a way, we create MAGRAF systems, especially designed to absorb these kind of things. We need to do this. This is not a knowledge which we develop for what we call nuclear industry. This is a knowledge we have developed, and it's in your patents, that we develop for space, deep space. What kind of fields we want to absorb from the environment? We are short of oxygen. We are short of carbon. We are short of magnetic gravitational field plasmas of aluminium. We switch our system in our reactors anywhere in the universe, and we absorb the field strength of that to the system. We create oxygen as we need. We create aluminium as we need. This is part of the technology which will be given and traveled and delivered for the new power stations. What I said, and I suggested to our nuclear physicists, we need to make underground tunnel even under the 420 nuclear reactors we are operating today, to place these, what I call maglev systems, underneath them, that does not allow them to leak, does not allow no nuclear material to go beyond the boundary of the nuclear reactors. As I said many times before, we saw this when I was a student at Queen Mary College. We found out in the research that the nuclear material reaches beyond the boundary of the university reactors, and it was shut down immediately after completion of my report to the university. The following year, they shut the nuclear reactor down because we are radiating inside the City of London. In this way, this has been part of the understanding to bring this situation under control, to make a nuclear industry, to make sure situations like Fukushima and Chernobyl does not happen. We don't need to dump on top. We don't need to put concrete on top. We don't need to find ways to dismantle something. Doesn't matter what happens, we absorb it internally. The inner core of the planet Earth is made of nuclear plasma technology. We just feed it back where it comes from. In so many ways, the new Keshe Foundation space technology is not just for deep space. We can change things on this planet. We can make nuclear industry a safe industry. And we take our position as part of the negotiation +5+1. This is the announcement from the Iranian nation and the Iranian authorities. In a way, we walk away from 5+1 because we have too much advanced nuclear technology to bother with the child's gameplay, which is that nuclear technology in exchange for peace for all of us. Every nation has to have access to the nuclear plasma technology to be able to develop their own space technology, to be able to develop their own energy resources, to be able to go advance with what they have. Why do we see Africa suffering so much heavily? They have no nuclear industry. And all the national resources and the rivers and everything else has been used to the full. A continent suffers from the lack of energy because they cannot afford 30 billion. And the West and the China and the rest, by stealing and borrowing from the others and themselves and their nation, are building these to guarantee their income. They guarantee their energy resources. With the new plasma technology, we give a balanced, fair chance to every nation, be it United States, to Africa, to Asia, and the rest. The new understanding of the space technology is for all of us. And that's why we teach so openly. This is what we sit for and what we stand for. Knowledge in exchange for peace. In so many ways, the new nuclear industry can grow as much as it likes. But for the first time, we have a safety guarantee. We have the knowledge to create these conditions that we can develop. We can enjoy the pleasures of the nuclear technology, but we put what we call safety factor in, automatic safety factors. We don't need to have a runaway situation when the nuclear reactor starts. The first steps of meltdown and runaway, what we call maglev systems underneath the reactor go into operation, absorbing it, not allowing the meltdown position we saw in Fukushima and Chernobyl. This is part of our new technology. This is part of the Keshe Foundation technology in conjunction and cooperation with the Iranian nuclear industry. The technology belongs to all of us, and we should have the benefit of it. In so many ways, no one can build any more nuclear reactors unless we have certification that the maglev system underneath the building works, can absorb, cannot allow radiation out. It's the same as we said in the system we have built for the space technology. We protect ourselves with shielding. For the first time, we have a protection that nothing can come in. This time we absorb that nothing can get out. In so many ways, understanding of the new technology in the nuclear industry cannot go further if the technology of the new plasma technology as the nuclear side of it is not understood. We offer technology in exchange for peace from the Keshe Foundation to world governments. In so many ways, nuclear industry becomes a savior for all of us. In a way, we can use the materials from the nuclear reactors in an appropriate way to build the stations, to build reactors, can take man to the depths of the universe. As I said before, there are three different kinds of radiation. And as the knowledge of the man increases and expands, then man can expect to travel deeper, to travel faster, to break barriers of the nation's color and race, does not matter on planet Earth or beyond. In so many ways, today's teaching is very simple. We have to think the correct way for all of us. We have to bring apparatus and systems that protect all of us. We have to expand the knowledge of humanity beyond the present dimension. This technology sits for that purpose. In so many ways, the new dimensions of the understanding of dynamic plasma, even for example, in case of corona, will be very easy. You just need to put a system in the middle of the city which absorbs the strength of the virus. 1 second there, 1 second not there. This is what we have developed in the Keshe Foundation, new what we call enhancement units. In so many ways that in a spaceship of tomorrow, if we come across a field strength that could be behaving or endanger all of us, we just need to tune into the strength and what we call extract. The same thing as we do with the nuclear reactors if they run away. We extract a specific field strength. In so many ways, we have fire detectors, we have smoke detectors. Now we can develop technology which extracts and detects and protects nuclear reactors, nuclear industry, even to be on a spaceship, what we call plasma reactors. We open a new horizon in the world of science and technology. And as I recommended to my leaders in Iran and the Iranian new president, we walk away from 5+1 because we are the totality of the knowledge put together and we have more to offer. Our knowledge as the knowledge seekers of what we call nuclear industry should be a credit, not a danger, not to be perceived danger. Iran has to be what we call part of the nuclear cartel, that we provide the exclusivity of technology for safety and extraction of nuclear material from power stations. In a way, as I said to my leaders, no nuclear power station should be built unless it's certified by the Iranian nuclear physicist safety people that it has a capability to extract all radiations from the environment of the nuclear reactor into the ground. In a way, we bring a new dimension. In a way, we bring a new technology. And in a way, we have to be part of the new space technology as knowledge seekers, as Keshe Foundation, as a one nation. In so many ways, we are not putting a hand of friendship out. We are putting hand of science out to be able to protect all of us. In so many ways, nuclear industry today, which has been hidden from you, is active, alive, and kicking, and waiting for the next explosion like Fukushima, or like what we saw in Chernobyl, and the others which have never been announced. In so many ways, it's time to add the space technology to the present knowledge. In a way, to add to our knowledge, to make it safer for us, to make it safer for our new generation, to make it safer for our children and grandchildren. And it does not matter where they go, on this planet or beyond, they are safe on this planet from nuclear reactors, in the space from viruses, and somewhere else from something else. In a way, our knowledge is not complete. The next step, when man takes into space and goes beyond this galaxy, man needs to learn more about deep space fields transformation, oceans of fields, which most of them, as we've seen in our planet, different airs, different conditions of environment, They are the same. And we need to understand more about cosmic rays. We need to understand how to extract those part of it, which becomes part of our life, can become advantages to us, can become part of our process of understanding the part of the totality of the creation. In so many ways, we ask the American administration, the Chinese, and the Russians to listen to the teaching of today. The message is very simple. We have developed technologies which is unknown, and in the process, we will open up the technology to all. In so many ways, it should not be exclusivity, but it has to be a must. No nuclear reactor with the knowledge which is in the hand of Iranian nuclear physicists should be opened up without certification that the fields can be absorbed into the ground, can be buried, can be taken out and put in a place as a fields of the strength of this planet that no nuclear explosion can happen. This makes it impossible for nations to use nuclear weapon technology. In so many ways, missile technology is buried. This is why in Iran we announced many times, we are not interested in nuclear missiles technology because it has no use. And secondly, with the technology in our possession, you can drop one, we can drop one, absorb whatever you try to explode. It's very simple. In a way, if you look at what we saw in Hiroshima, if we can drop immediately another system inside, within the range, we can absorb all the fields back to this point. 1 second nuclear, next second none. Now you understand why nuclear weapon technology is obsolete. We have created a deterrent for it. We have developed technologies which become deterrent to it. What's the use of making something which is nothing? Nuclear power superiority has hit the what we call rock bottom levels of it. The new understanding, the new plasma nuclear technology, what can do can write off all the dangers of behind and what we've done in front and what we'll do to all of us in our history. In so many ways, mankind has to enter a new phase. Mankind has to enter a phase to understand that whatever he can make to destroy, we understand the process of it. We understand it's made of fields, and we understand we can change the fields. My advice to the American administration, to the Chinese leadership, to the Russian administration the same, is let's talk big boys game, understanding the technology and delivering a new technology that does not give one nation superiority just because it can kill more. A nation should be respected for its knowledge that it can save more. And this comes out of the Iranian nation and Iranian nuclear physicists. We offer safety. We offer protection if mistakes happen. And in a way, with this new technology, we make the nuclear industry of America, China, and the rest obsolete. In so many ways, mankind has reached a new level. And in so many ways, once the nation loses the superiority of killing, nations become equal. In a way, peace becomes not optional, but becomes a must. In a way, we can change a lot of things. We can bring a lot together collectively as human beings to develop than destroy. My message to His Excellency President Biden is simple. Talk peace in Tehran. We invite you to Tehran. And this is the backing by the Iranian leadership and the new president of Iran. We do not bend, but we deliver technologies that makes you ashamed in what you do and what you've done. We stand resolute for world peace and a new knowledge. My knowledge belongs to humanity, but not by the suffering of one or the other, for the others to prove they can bully, they can cajole, and they can lie and cheat. The new nuclear plasma technology puts an end to all the fears of technology. As I said many times before, the reason as nuclear physicists we are respected because we have shown that we can kill in mass. And then when you put the uranium in front of it with what they put out, makes it more fearful. Now, when you hear an Iranian nuclear physicist, you respect and honor the knowledge that they brought the knowledge to change everything of the past. In a way, knowledge in exchange for peace is on the table of negotiations from Iranian new Office of Administration and His Eminence Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran and the Keshe Foundation. We do not walk away from nuclear agreements. We see them as obsolete. In a way, we open the doors of Iranian nuclear industry, nuclear plasma industry, to all the nations. It has to be equal. It has to be fair that the scientists in South Africa, in Namibia, in London, in Beijing, in Tehran, all collectively develop their own ways to find new ways, new science in helping their and the citizens on this planet. In so many ways, it becomes like computers. Different nations develop different part of it, and we all benefit by it. When an app is made or a new program is made, we all use it freely, we get access to it. And this is how the Plasma Technology Foundation has to become part of the same process. In so many ways, my call and the call of the Iranian administration is very simple. New government, new opportunity, and new world peace for all of us. In so many ways, mankind has to know what is the capability of Iranian nuclear physicists that can bring peace, security, and absolute certainty that man can be in the space. As I said, we invite the American president to Tehran. No condition attached. And at the same time, we are prepared to open embassies in Tehran and Washington. No condition attached. You can keep your sanctions because you're sanctioning yourself from the knowledge while we teach it to the others. Unless the old habit of stealing on the sideline still exists within the American, the British, and other administrations. In so many ways, we open our nuclear industry to the world. The new plasma technology and technology that can change all of us. Even we can drill under the present Fukushima and Chernobyl and place these systems to extract and hold and change the environment with the guarantees that everyone can do what they like and live a normal life. You will see and you'll come across these in your travels in the deeper space. We will see explosion of stars. We will see explosion of planetary systems, which run out of control. Why we are the citizens, why we have passengers of Earth on these units. We need to have this technology, first of all, to contain, secondly, to extract. In so many ways, the opportunity with the new knowledge is so vast that we need to bring all the universities of this planet to work towards new understanding. Keshe Foundation, in a short time, hopefully will announce the opening of one of the largest university sites of the Keshe Foundation if our negotiation goes positive. We will open a 30,000 square meter university for all scientists to come and learn. We hope we come to negotiation by the end of this year. And on completion, we open the doors to up to 3,000 world scientists to learn together within the structure of the Keshe Foundation, the new technology. We are striving to change the position, but we cannot let one nation to suffer for the other cartels to show they have the power to do what they like. In so many ways, We need advanced nuclear preparation technology of Iran and other nations to be able to produce the fuels for mankind's deep space travel. Iran, what we call nuclear preparation fuels, at up to 92% in coming months, is needed if man wants to go into deep space. The reason for it is, as we look for purest gold to have the purity to do our test, in the space travel, we need the purest radiation fields that we have no accident by creating other fields within our reactor to be diverted or to be absorbed or be pushed away from one destination or other. Nuclear plasma technology needs purity of the nuclear material to be able to do 99 enrichment within the next 6 months or 12 months by the Iranian nuclear physicists is needed to become certain. We take off from Earth, we land on the moon with no problems that other field radiation should be. In a physical dimension, we looked for 99.99 purity of gold. In the new plasma technology, we look for 99.99999 with pure mono fields from the purest one element system. This is why I support the Iranian nuclear plasma proliferation, because it gives us that stepping stone to have a pure field, no dimensions of any deviation or absorption of other materials. In so many ways, what was put to be a problem as actually is the solution. As has been announced by the Iranian leaders, we have reached 60% purity in April. We announced Iran will reach 92 to 99% within the next 6 months, which allows us to travel with the pure plasma materials of monoenergetic, exactly the way it is within the center of every planet. In so many ways, if you build magravs, you know what I'm talking about. If you put a wrong turn, you create a wrong field opposite to the other, your magrav system doesn't work, or it doesn't work as best efficient way to do. As you have created different fields in a different direction. It's the same with the space technology. We need pure fields that are mono, that are in a plasma condition and energetic enough to be able to create lift and motion. Monoplasma technology is a gift from the Iranian nuclear physicists to humanity. We will achieve it in a pure way, and at the same time, this is why we said Iran has to be part of the new cartel in nuclear industry. Not only we add to the knowledge for the space travel, we bring the security to the present nuclear reactors that they will never run out of control. In a way, knowledge in exchange for peace is the new layout of the Iranian administration and government and leadership. We work in one way. We bring on the table the knowledge you could dream of as a reality of totality. You can keep your sanctions for your own pocket. We sanction you with the knowledge. We share the knowledge with what you call the third world to pass you faster than you could ever imagine. When we have people of South Africa on the moon and Mars in early next year, American scientists can still work on the plasma reactors, hoping to land in Mars in 2030 if they can. My call goes to Mr. Nelson, at the head of propulsion for Mars mission in NASA. Open the channel of talk. We invite you to our base in Arizona. We teach you if you do not like, or you can come with your president to Iran. We show you how it's done. In so many ways, we are proud to be a nation of scientists and developers of the new technology. I will not allow another single Iranian nuclear physicist to be touched or to be killed. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. If one more Iranian nuclear physicist is touched, we withdraw the knowledge from the nation who does it. And you will feel it. You will understand what we're talking about. In a way, no scientist anywhere in the world has to be touched. Scientists have to be respected as the prophets, because they bring change to the world of man. In a way, mankind has to move up and get out of this dogma of wanting to be, but be part of to be. In so many ways, my call goes onto the American administration, and especially to His Excellency President Xi of China. We are all friends and we work as one. But knowledge in exchange for peace, it comes peace for every man on this planet, not between the nations. Peace of mind, that there is food, there is energy, and there is shelter on demand is the responsibility of all of us to be responsible for all of us, irrespective of color, religion, and race, and what we call stupidity of making sanctions on the back of what we call, which doesn't exist anywhere in the universe, except what we call man's greed for power. In so many ways, today's teaching is very simple. We have opened a new phase of negotiation with all the nations, irrespective of their what we call political dimensions. We expect one thing out of our negotiation. The new administrations in all countries have to accept that there should be no kingship. There should be no one above another, but we work as one. We see the end of kingships in all the countries which have kings. A king can be a king in his own house, not over the others. This is part of the structure to come. No one is above another. And the old habit of I am better and I'm a king has to finish. This is part of what we will see it will enforce by most of those who will take the new technology in hand. We have a very clear message for those who think we play game. Play with us, you see the benefit. Work against us, you damage yourself, not us. It's you who is going to fall behind. As I said, the new administration, a new cycle of life means total change for all of us. In so many ways, in the past times, we always looked at who has the better gun to kill to be powerful. From now on, we look who has the best technology to serve to be powerful. Serving humanity is part of the work of becoming what we call as part of universal community. The choice of peace has to be no choice, but has to be there that we don't have to choose. Like air we breathe, like water we drink. Peace has to be part of our lives, as we know we have everything we need. We can have everything we need. At the same time, working has to become a pleasure, not way to feed yourself just to survive. This habit of man will change. We have no factories and we cannot produce things in the space for man just to sell, to be happy that he changes piece of paper or numbers on the computer. In so many ways, I hope many of you will understand. And as we ask the American administration to listen to the teaching of today, we have conveyed a new message from Tehran. Technology of the nuclear space technology and safety for building of the new nuclear reactors which are in progress in exchange for peace for humanity. We do not negotiate for Iran, we negotiate for the whole of humanity, that no nation by weapon gets superiority. We are not interested in weapon technology, we are not interested in missiles. We are interested in peace as our knowledge becomes missile through the life of the human race, and it brings a betterment of life for all of us. In the next few weeks, Iranian new administration will come into power. And with it comes the message of peace, exchange for technology, and enforcement of peace and sharing of the knowledge with all the nations on this planet. We have negotiated with those who matter in the background. And it's a decision that we have made to make this announcement today. in the Oval Office, you have one choice. Make it an office of peace, and white, not from outside, but white inside too. You've done enough bloodshedding in the past decades, and now it's time for it to come to an end. And we offer you that opportunity with knowledge and technology. We invite world scientists to Tehran. At the same time, we share the knowledge with all of you to develop different parts of it the way we have done in the Keshe Foundation. We show you the way. The development and enjoying the fruit of it is yours for the rest. I have made this very clear to the Iranian new government. Keshe Foundation technology is at the disposal of the Iranian nation for exchanging peace, for exchange for betterment of all the humanity, and in a way to have a center, a place that we are proud to live in, the earth, where man does not kill, where man never suffers from shortness of the essentials of life. The Creator did not choose which part of the earth will have air or less air, if it's a different color or different race of people or is animals living. He is omnipotent and he shares equal. And that will be the new way that the Iranian nation and government will work. We share our technology, and with it, we take the banner of peace. And with it, we put our law down. In a way, the technology and knowledge has to be free for all, and Iran become the flagship for this technology. As I said, to all those who matter, join us, you benefit. Boycott us, you boycott yourself. And as I said before, it's time to bring the knowledge to be used correctly. And I said before, no nuclear reactors should be built, and no nuclear reactors should be operated in the next few years unless they have received certification from Iranian nuclear physicists and IAEA that the system is befitted with the gravitational system for extraction of the nuclear material into the earth, that it can be reused. And it's safe for all of us. We don't make a shelter, we create what we call extraction system of the field. In so many ways, this was developed by me years ago in Queen Mary College, when we saw the rods to absorb nuclear radiation if the neutrons run out of control. To me, this was a funny way to do it, where we could have one thing that all could be sensors, like your smoke detectors. When you smell the smoke by a detector, the alarm goes off. When you feel and see increase in radiation, the field needs to be absorbed. Not by a rod, which itself has shown to be not effective, be it with Chernobyl, be it with Fukushima, and the others. The radiation has to be handled by radiation fields, not by matters which lose control and get saturated. This technology is the only way that the future nuclear reactors on this planet should be built. The new future nuclear reactors for space travel has to be built, that we have access to all. In so many ways, we have opened a new era in nuclear technology. We are not interested in nuclear weapon because there is no weapon to match the knowledge which we have brought. And in so many ways, you want to run a nuclear reactor in America, ask your nation, has the Iranian nuclear technology for absorption of the radiation has been placed underneath of it, that nothing can happen to us. It's a safety guarantee. You don't open a shopping center if it's not equipped with fire extinguishers, fire detectors, and fire escape doors. You cannot build a nuclear reactors and hope that nothing goes wrong. It has to be a certainty that nothing goes out and nothing will happen to it. And this is the responsibility of our leaders in nuclear industry. And as being a nuclear physicist, of our administration in IAEA to enforce the new technology. They have to make guarantees that are not just there to lay laws, who has a camera aware, but they lay laws that every equipment, safety, and operation of nuclear reactors is guaranteed by the new plasma technology in absorbing radiation into the ground and not into the atmosphere. There is no possibility of what we call China syndrome with the new technology. As is plasma, it absorbs, and its plasma in direction of the stronger to the weaker can be processed into the center of the earth to become part of the energy of the inner sanctum of the materials of the earth. We bury the energy into dynamic magma of this planet. This is a technology which we have. And it's a technology which in so many ways has been hidden in many of the Keshe Foundation system, which has been marketed in the past few weeks and months. In so many ways, we are in process and in a position of the technology beyond imagination. And as I said, knowledge in exchange for peace, but for all the humanity. Iran will take lead in the peace talks with all the nations by teaching the peaceful way of using plasma nuclear technology, part of what we call KFSSI education system. There's one thing for sure. Humanity, for the first time, has the guarantees that will operate with a full safety as we operate with the protection of the atmosphere of this planet around us, to protect us from meteorites and everything else that touches us every day and every second. Now, with the knowledge of Keshe plasma technology and support of the Iranian nation and government, we give that safety net to the whole of humanity. Let us enjoy the nuclear industry, but not live with the fear of it that it become a nuclear bomb or become a nuclear weapon deterrent or whatever else. Let us build on the nuclear industry the way it was developed by the Creator in allowing the universe to be created. We are created out of the fields of the universe. And in a way, we can use the new understanding to create new dimensions for all of us. Maybe for the first time, we have laid our law down. We could not talk before as we did not believe in the present administration in Iran. With the new administration and trust in the work of and the belief of the Iranian scientists and Iranian leadership, we lay out the new law. Science for exchange, for peace, for all mankind, and not for one nation. And in understanding this, we open our doors to all the world scientists to come to Iran, to come to the new university to be opened up, we wish and we hope, in Europe in the coming time. And at the same time, we look to be able to be an active member of IAEA for assuring and creating new standards for safety of all of us, understanding the nuclear plasma technology. In a way, as I said to the Iranian government officials in the past few days and those who matter for us within the administration of His Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran, is that we share our knowledge in exchange for peaceful world. And we work and we stick to the same ethos. In so many ways, as I said, it's for us knowledge seekers not to seek for the knowledge, but to seek for peace through the knowledge. Not for our nations, but even for ourselves. In the coming time, a number of new systems will be released by the Keshe Foundation. We have a placed order for the first transmutation and transportation systems to be built in our laboratories in Austria. And will be demonstrated in a new center in the coming weeks once it's totally done. When we are happy with it, we release it. You will see the transmutation in the what we call the exhibition center, where you will be putting one and You'll be taking the other system across the bridge. And as I said before, the technology is in the hand of peaceful people of the Keshe Foundation, irrespective of our race and color and a position on this planet. In so many ways, I have brought a new nation on this planet by the teachings of Pacier. We don't look at the color, race, or religion, and we respect each other for the knowledge we bring. It's beautiful, but I turn up in different teachings, like American teachings on Sunday night from all over the world. Everyone shares unconditioned, and the only thing we ask for, where are you from? And what can you bring on the table of knowledge? When you join the Keshe Foundation Knowledge Seekers Program with Rick on Wednesday, there is no color or race who can be and who cannot be. We share knowledge freely. And we have to take this principle across this planet. We have become a new race. We have become a new way of thinking and a new way of sharing. We do not exclude, but we include. And this is how the new technology has to be shared. Exclusivity should be for the animals. Inclusivity should be for human beings. And in knowledge and technology, we have to be inclusive, irrespective of where we are. The new, what we call media technology, has given us that skill, and we have to use it to share it, that with our work, we change the work of what we call the hooligans and animal behavior of the past. In a way, not knowingly, we have become a new nation out of the planet. We join in different Corona teams of the Keshe Foundation of different languages, and we encourage everybody else to join us in different groups for different teachings. And now it's time to teach these to our leaders. We already have become one nation. We already have become one race of knowledge seekers, and it will be very hard for those who thought they'll benefit by it through division and through superiority to be a better killing machine. The superiority of the nations like United States is finished. You match us with nuclear, we match you with the love of the new plasma technology, that your nuclear weapon, firstly, not will ever take wing. Secondly, if it comes to touch, will have no effect to touch. In a way, with a new technology, which will be released by us, we force our government not to be afraid of nuclear physicists, but to be respectful of the new knowledge of the nuclear plasma technology. Many of you will become the teachers of the future. Many of you will become the banner bearers of peace because you are knowledge seekers. Many of you will pride in how long you've been a knowledge seekers, and many of you will be proud how you have served the others. And this has become, and has to become, the habit of human beings. As I said, none of you knew, most probably, that today 50 nuclear power stations are getting built. Hinkley 3 in the United Kingdom, due operational in the next 2-3 years. Ask the British government, what is the guarantee for the nuclear reactor if it runs away? The whole nation of England or United Kingdom will not be blown up by it. Do you have a certificate from Iran nuclear physicists to confirm that we are fitted with a new system? That our nation is safe, our country is safe, our part of this planet is safe because we are responsible for the fish in the sea as much as man in the mountain. Now we understand why we push through new technology. You look for CE certification. Now, soon, for new reactors, you have to look for KF certification that we have delivered such a system to the nation for the nuclear power stations to be safe. We have equipped the nations that if one nation turns wrong, there is enough material available that any nuclear material goes astray can be absorbed back in. Now we need assurances from nations to walk away from superiority through gun policy than knowledge policy. In so many ways, I made this very clear to the Iranian administration. The office of His Excellency to become the President of Iran, Mr. Rasai. Keshe Foundation technology is a tool of peace in the hand of the new government. Use it wisely, and we do not need sanctions except if they want to sanction themselves from the knowledge and technology. When we released the key of the Keshe Foundation patents, one by one nations around the world asked for it and they received it. And the Americans held back to Obama's administration on the second time of his election. Throughout this time, we'll see what's in this key. Now we unravel how to open the key and understand the knowledge into it with the new American administration. You had the key for over 10 years, but your scientists are not educated enough to decipher it. You asked for it, we gave it to you, but you do not know how to open the key. We give you the key in exchange for world peace, in exchange for end of nuclear weapons to be a superiority, but the knowledge of space to be able to reach the depth of space to be. As I said many times before, my advice to His Excellency President Xi of China is don't look to match the Americans with nuclear warheads. Look to bring prosperity to your citizens through the new knowledge of plasma technology. To understand more, to be able to serve your nation. And at the same time, we will share this knowledge. As we did last time, we gave the key first to the smallest nations in Africa. So the country of Sierra Leone was the first nation receiving the USB stick of the Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers. And with it, we helped them with Ebola and E. coli during the crisis they had. We gave the same key to the most strongest government in the world, what they called itself a superior power, the United States, less than a year later by their request. But now it's time to open the key of patterns. And in signing for peace, we start deciphering a pattern for every aspect of the application. It's the responsibility of the government of Iran to make sure man lands on the moon on the 6th of June, 2022, with the knowledge of the Keshe Foundation, with the guarantee to arrive within less than 1 hour and below. And we invite the American scientists, the Chinese scientists, and the Russians to join us in this, what we call endeavor. Collectively, we have the knowledge, we have the scientists to be able to achieve this. To join the club, to go to moon, you have to sign your nation to peace. Don't forget, if we can reach the moon in 1 hour, we can reach your capitals in 1 minute. And in so many ways, on the 10th of February, communiqué by the Iranian officials, they said, with the Keshe Foundation technology, going to moon will take 1 minute. And if it's that way, getting to your nation takes 1 second. Now we understand the purpose of the teachings. Now we change course. As I said, the changes to be announced will be in position. We wait for the new office of Iranian president to take place on the 3rd of August. And immediately the Iranian nation will respond with the peace proposals right across to all the nations. we take the banner of peace, exchange for knowledge and technology. I have made this clear to our people in Tehran, and it goes back to the White House. We invite the American administration to Tehran to celebrate the sharing of the knowledge. You're welcome to walk across and amongst the Iran most fast, advanced, what we call systems for separation and purification of nuclear material. We open the door of every nuclear research centers in Iran because we have advanced our technology, that we see this technology as obsolete, but as part of the process of being able to achieve, to travel the depth of the universe. In a way, purification of nuclear material gives us the purity of guarantee to be able to travel the depth of the space without diversion, explosion, and everything else which is possible. I stand salute and resolute behind the Iranian nation, as we are all Iranian, as we all came to Aryan blood. So when we make as one nation, we are already from one nation. And it comes back to understanding the ethos of what we call Ahura Mazda. We talk good, we act good, and we think good. And this is how it should be, because when we are at peace, we do not need to do anything else. And in the depth of the space, we find the same ethos with the universal community. In a way, weapon technology has come to an end. And in so many ways, in the coming time, a man will be ashamed even why he took this path. But maybe we had to reach to where we are today. As I said, we invite the world leaders to Tehran. We invite the world scientists into Tehran to start the progress development of the space technology. Peace in exchange for knowledge. We cannot be more clear than this. And in my communication to the Iranian leadership this morning, before this teaching, everything was made clear that this is the path that the Iranian nation will take. We become the flag bearer of knowledge and peace, and in that process, we invite the world scientists to Tehran. Take a rest. You have 2 or 3 weeks, and with the upcoming and taking office of His Excellency President Raisi of Iran, we open the doors of knowledge of Iran to humanity. Knowledge in exchange for peace, and those who want to sanction, they can keep their sanctions, as it's worth nothing except the sanction themselves into not receiving the knowledge and waiting for the crumbs or steal the technology on the sidelines, where they could be the part of the actual main groups of developing the technology together with the Iranian physicists. My call is very simple. We start a new cycle with knowledge and technology. We initially, to begin with, safeguard these 50 nuclear reactors which are built. And then we build underground tunnels under the old reactors to make sure the mistakes of Fukushima, the mistakes of Chernobyl, and the others will not happen. And as we develop the technology, we understand nuclear weapons will have no use as we develop the technologies to absorb their fields at the point of a strike, even if they go by mistake of or deliberate. In a way, in the past, arrows were the best thing we had, and we changed them to bullets. And now we change them to peace bullets. We change them to arrows of love, arrows of knowledge and technology. The message is very simple. A new race of man has started as knowledge seekers. We shared knowledge in exchange for peace for all of us. In so many ways, we all carried the knowledge and we received it unconditionally. I thank the new Iranian administration and Office of His Eminence Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran for allowing Iran to become the unique cradle of new science and technology. This would not have been happening if we didn't have such a resolute and what I call astute leader like His Eminence Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran through past 30 years to make sure the Iranian scientists develop the knowledge which takes mankind to the next level. And in so many ways, this is just the beginning. You have to wait and see what more will come. And as we develop together, the more we understand more what it needs to be done to guarantee and assure safety for all of us, even with the mistakes of the past. In so many ways, we have one choice, and that's the choice for peaceful nation of Earth. And in that process, we lay down the law with science and technology. Thank you very much for today. And I hope I made it very clear where we stand and what to expect. Ask your government from Singapore to Saudi Arabia, to United Kingdom, to United States and Germany. What is the guarantee if the next reactor goes up by mistake or by accident or deliberate? Do we have a technology which Keshe Foundation has offered on the banner of the Iranian nation nuclear physicists? And if you don't have it, you don't switch it on, you don't load it. We become what we call missionaries of peace and knowledge and technology as knowledge seekers. And then we'll find a new dimension. And we'll find out we become the leaders of peace amongst ourselves, for ourselves and for our nations. As one nation, one planet, one race. Thank you very much for today. And I hope I made it very clear in where we stand and what is to come. And we welcome the new administrations to come into position and power in Germany, in Russia, in Iran, and especially now that the American administration has started its 8-year cycle. It's very strange how most of the nations go through elections about the same time every 4 years, which allows the world leaders to get to know and find new ways and new breakthroughs. And the new elections in Iran has created that position with the choice of the new leaders, peace, prosperity for all the nations. And we set that course across the planet. Rick, if you'd like to go through a break and then we come back and we go through the second part.
Okay, very good, Mr. Keshe, thank you. And so we'll take a short or not so short break here with some advertising with the Keshe Foundation. We have a new ad I'll play first, and Mr. Keshe was kind of asking for people to see what the reaction that people had to a new ad that we have for a Gans mask, and I'll play that first, and then some other intermission advertising. Okay, we'll be back in a short while.
We are beings from the universe, living in nature, finding our way, making our path through time looking for beauty. That is why we created the Keshe Foundation Gans Mask, to keep your beauty, to rejuvenate the skin and help it stay young through your life. The Keshe Foundation space technology embedded in the mask brings balance not only to your body and mind, but also balances your soul. Enjoy living happily in balance and beauty.